Right, question 5. DNA base count. Ask the user for a DNA string. Count how many A, T, C, and G bases it contains using a loop. Print the results clearly. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to ask the user to input a DNA base string. Okay, and I'm going to create a variable called DNA string. And I'm going to say equals input, please input a DNA string, base string, whatever. Okay, right. So the user will be able to put a whole load of A's, C's, T's, and G's in there. I think what I might do on the fly, or I might do it here actually, is I'm going to do a little bit of handling here. I'm just going to say DNA string. I'm going to convert it all to upper. And I'm going to strip any white space. So if they put any spaces in, I'll get rid of those as well. Okay. Right, so the aim of the game here is to count how many characters of each type, A, C, T, or G, are in the string, and then output that. Okay, let's have a think. Well, let's start with the for loop, for, and now I want to loop through every character in my DNA string. So for base in DNA string, okay, I am going. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is just print it out. Let's get a sanity check. Make sure my code works. Excuse me. Let's give a string AC G T G G T C A A C A T D D D D G. And actually, I'm going to copy that so I don't ever have to type that in again because I'm lazy. Okay, and it's just printed it out character by character within the loop. You notice when we do that in a console, it starts a new line. Okay, that's kind of how you know it's looping. But I don't want to do this. I want it to count this. I've got 1, 2 T's, 1, 2, 2 C's, 1, 2, 3, 4 A's, and 1, 2, 3 G's. So I want that summary somewhere. But first I've got to count the things. Okay, so let's create a couple of variables in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is, before my loop actually, I'm going to create some variables called A equals 0, C equals 0, T equals 0, and G equals 0. Now that's really bad coding, right? Because if this code was buried in a much bigger script, I would have very little idea what these variable names refer to. So I'm going to be a bit more specific. I'm going to put A underscore count. And it's a bit long-winded, but it will help me if I'm writing extended piece of code. It's a bit overkill in this case because it's going to be very obvious what I'm going to need to do. Right, so I've defined some empty variables, or some variables that start at 0 for all of my A's, C's, T's, and G's. Now I want to use a bit of logic. Okay, so as I loop through my DNA string, if base is equal to, and remember I've used uppercase characters, then I'm going to do a count. And remember I used the plus equal sign to add stuff to it? Well, I'm just going to increment it by 1. Okay. And then I'm going to do elif base equals C. a count plus equals 1. Oh, mistake. C count. Elif base equals t. And you can see I've made a deliberate mistake on line 15 with the colon there. It shouldn't be. T count equals, oops, come on Rob, plus equals 1. And then finally, base. Actually, I want to finish this with an else. Base G and I've got to be careful here because the base is, the else statement is slightly different, so I put the colon after the else and do G count plus equals 1. Okay, so don't get caught out with the colon at the end of your else statement. Okay, then I think I could still have used an elif. That would have been fine if you're wondering. Then once I've counted everything, I'm going to simply print out an F string using all of these counts in. I'm going to be careful here because this will work, but if I give you a string with any other characters in, what will happen? It will add them to the G count. So actually this is a bit naughty. I'm not going to do this because if for some reason there was an X or an N or something slipped in there, it would count them as G. So I am going to use an elif. Come on, brain, wake up. Base equals G count plus equals 1. Okay, now let's print all this out. And I am going to use my good friend, the F string. Here, I'm going to put an A colon, and then I'm going to put open curly brackets, A underscore count, put my A count variable in there, and then a comma, C colon, C count, T colon, curly bracket, T count, and then finally G colon, G count. Don't forget to close your parenthesis. Not parenthesis. Quotation mark. Go on. How do I think for that one? Let's run it again now. I'm going to paste that in. There we go. And did it do it right? I think that's right. Should have been 6 A's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that's right. So there you go. I've got a for loop with an if and a series of elifs. I didn't use the else. Okay. I could have done something like, oops. I could have done something like this very quickly. Let me just bring this down a bit. I could have done something like, oh, come on, Rob, I'm pressing the wrong button. I'm used to using, I've been writing R all week, so I'm using Shift and Enter to run my code. Else I could have used, I could have another variable, let's put it in here, it's called error count equals 0. I could have put error plus equal 1. I've got a bug here. Okay, and then I could have just put error count, and then if I run this, oh, hang on a minute, let me run it this way. Oh, I got a bug on line 10. Let's have a look at that one. I should have been a 0, my fault. This time, if I put that string in and I put like XXXXX at the end of it, error on line 23. That's because I've used the wrong variable name. Come on, Rob. Let's run it again. There we go. I got 6 errors there. Right, took my time with that one.